family forgot to invite me to reunion, so I hosted my own at a 5-star resort that same day. I was standing in my kitchen with one sock on, the other sock in my hand, when my phone lit up with a notification and the screen filled with a photo of my cousins smiling under a banner that said, "Welcome home, family." My stomach dropped so fast, I actually grabbed the counter like I might slide off the planet. There was my aunt and niece in the middle, arms wide, mouth open mid-laugh. There was Uncle Ron with his arm around my brother. There was my sister holding plastic cup. There were kids I barely recognized because I hadn't seen them in years. Behind them, the community center in our hometown, the one place we always did reunions. The caption read, "So grateful for everyone who made it. Hashtag Henderson Reunion 2025 and underneath it, a dozen comments from relatives tagging each other and joking about potato salad. I felt my face go hot, then numb. I tapped the screen again like it might be a mistake. Another story. Another angle, a video of the DJ yelling, "Where my Henderson's at?" and a wave of my family cheering back. I couldn't hear them, but I could hear them in my head. I could practically smell the chafing dish steam and cheap perfume. I stood there in my own quiet apartment, sock still in my hand, and said out loud to nobody, "Are you kidding me?" My fingers moved before my brain could catch up. I clicked into the family group chat, our old one, the one that's mostly memes and birthday reminders and my aunt asking everyone to pray for her neighbor's dog. Nothing. No announcement. No flyer. No save the date. I scrolled back through weeks of messages, my thumb jerking faster like scrolling harder would conjure an invite out of thin air. My heart was banging so loud I could feel it behind my eyes. I called my sister and it went to voicemail. I called my brother and he didn't answer. I called my mom, reflexively, then remembered I don't call my mom anymore because my mom doesn't exist in the way I need her to, and the grief of that hit sideways, sharp. I opened Facebook, typed reunion, and there it was, an event page titled Henderson Family Reunion with a cute little graphic and a date set for today. It said invitees, 87. I wasn't on the list. I wasn't pending. I wasn't declined. I was nothing, like I had been deleted with a click. It was a Tuesday night 3 months earlier when Aunt Denise sent a quick check-in text that should have tipped me off. "Hey baby," she wrote, "you still living out there in the city? Address same?" I remember because I stared at that message for a long time, weirdly suspicious, like my body recognized the tone as something about to go wrong. I texted back my address, added a smiley face because I am apparently still a people pleaser in recovery, and she responded with a thumbs up. That was it. No follow-up. No miss you. No excited to see you. Just a thumbs up like Edo D been compliant. For context, I'm a family member who moved away, which in my family's language means I betrayed our zip code. I left our small town after college because I got a job in hospitality management, ironically, and ended up 2 hours away in a city that feels like a different universe to my relatives. I'm not the doctor cousin or the lawyer cousin. I'm not the one everyone brags about on Facebook. I'm the one who works in hotels, which to them is vaguely respectable, but also suspiciously close to serving. I'm also, conveniently, the one they forget until they need something, a recommendation for a hotel, a discount code, a place to stay during a concert weekend, someone to plan a party because you're good at that stuff. I've been forgotten before. That's what made this hit so hard. It wasn't a one-off oops. It was the latest chapter in a long, quiet pattern of me always having to prove I belong. When my cousin Lacey got married, I found out through Instagram photos. When my uncle had his retirement party, I got a blurry group picture sent after the fact with "We missed you," like missing me was an unavoidable weather event. Even when invitations did happen, they were often last minute. "You coming?" Texted the day before as if I can just teleport and take PTO on command. And if I can't make it, it becomes evidence that I'm too busy for family. So seeing that reunion banner and realizing they planned a whole event, an event our family treats like a sacred holiday, without inviting me, it didn't just sting. It made my chest feel hollow, like someone scooped something out. I sat down on my couch, still wearing one sock, and stared at the Facebook event page like it was a crime scene. Under hosts, it listed Aunt Denise, Aunt Carla, and my sister, Tasha. My sister. who had just ignored my call. I clicked message host, and my thumbs hovered over the keyboard, shaking. What do you even say? Hey, quick question. Did you forget I exist? I typed, deleted, typed again. Finally, I wrote, Hey, Denise. I'm seeing post about the reunion today. I didn't get an invite. Was that a mistake? I hit send and immediately felt sick, like I just asked someone why they didn't save me a seat at lunch. The reply came 20 minutes later. 20. As if she needed to consult the counsel. Oh no, baby. We thought you weren't coming this year. It was kind of last minute. You know how it is. Next time for sure, red heart. Next time for sure. Like I'm a seasonal flavor. I stared at the message until my eyes blurred. I thought about how my aunt had asked for my address months ago. I thought about how last minute for them still meant a printed banner, a DJ, catered trays, and matching t-shirts. I thought about how nobody had texted me, Hey, you coming? Even once. Not my sister, not my brother, not even my grandma, who normally calls just to tell me she saw a bird outside her window and thought of me. My hands went cold, then hot again, and something in me, some tired, bruised part, quietly snapped into place. Fine. If I wasn't invited to the reunion, I would have my own. Here's the thing about working in hotels. You learn how to pull miracles out of thin air. You learn who to call, what to say, how to make something impossible happen because someone is screaming about a missing pillow. You also learn how to find last-minute availability, how to secure a private room, how to leverage relationships, and, most importantly, how to make a space feel like it belongs to the people in it. I work for a luxury resort on the edge of the city. 5-star, the kind of place with a lobby that smells like citrus and money, where the water glasses are always full and nobody looks rushed. It's also, hilariously, where half my relatives have begged me for discount hookups over the years. I have benefits. I have points. I have friends and events who owe me favors. I have a general manager who likes me because I don't let things catch fire. So I called my coworker Maya in events and said, I need something crazy. Maya didn't even ask why. She just said, how crazy? Private brunch setup. I said, voice still trembling. Today, like in a few hours. There was a pause. Then Maya said, are you okay? I swallowed. No, I said honestly. But can you do it? Maya exhaled. Hold. I am checking inventory. While she checked, I opened my contacts and made a list. Cousin Lacey, Cousin Marcus, Cousin Janelle, Aunt Regina, the one who always whispers they're wrong for that at family events, my grandma's neighbor Mrs. Who's basically family anyway, and a couple of second cousins who always felt like outsiders too. People who would understand, or at least show up without turning it into a lecture about forgiveness. Then I started texting. Not a long explanation. Not a guilt trip. Just, hey, are you free today around 1? I'm hosting a mini family get-together at the resort, food, pool access. Would love to see you. Maya called back. Okay, she said. We can give you the garden terrace from 1 to 4. It's usually for small weddings, but we have a cancellation. You'll owe me your firstborn. I laughed once sharp. Deal. My hand was shaking so badly, I almost dropped my phone. I booked the terrace. I used points for a package. I added a small buffet. Nothing insane, but elevated. Fruit, pastries, omelet station, roasted potatoes, salad, chicken skewers, mocktails. I asked for a welcome sign because I am petty but classy. Maya texted me a photo of the sign mock-up 15 minutes later. Welcome, family in beautiful script. Under it, the Hendersons, City Edition. I stared at it and started crying. Not the sad cry. The, I can't believe I'm doing this cry. The, I'm so tired of begging for a seat cry. By noon, people started replying. Marcus, wait, what LOL am I in? Janelle, girl, yes. What happened? Aunt Regina, say less. I'm bringing my famous deviled eggs. Lacey, I didn't know there was a reunion today, either WTF. I'll come. That message from Lacey. I didn't know either, made my stomach twist again. So it wasn't just me. It was a selective invite, a curated list, a main family versus extras situation. Of course, I got dressed like I was going to war, but make it cute. Light makeup to hide the fact that my eyes were puffy. Hair pullback. The other sock finally located. I drove to the resort with my chest tight and my mind racing. What if nobody comes? What if this is embarrassing? What if my family shows up and causes a scene? What if I'm the villain? Then I pulled into the valet loop, and one of the bellmen waved like he always does, and the scent of the lobby hit me. Citrus, clean linen, something expensive, and I felt my spine straighten. This was my domain. If my family was going to treat me like an afterthought, fine. I would be an afterthought in five-star lighting. When I stepped on a garden terrace, it was already set. White tablecloths fluttering slightly in the breeze. Tall glasses sweating with condensation. A small floral arrangement in the center that looked effortless but probably cost someone's rent. The welcome sign stood at the entrance, gleaming. Maya was there with her clipboard, smirking. "This is unhinged," she whispered. "I know." I whispered back, and my voice shook. The first person to arrive was Aunt Regina, of course. She marched in like she owned the place, deviled eggs in hand, and stopped in front of the sign. She read it, turned to me, and said, "Oh, baby." Then she hugged me so tight, I almost melted. "You okay?" she asked into my hair. I tried to say yes, and instead I said, "That didn't invite me," and it came out small and raw. Aunt Regina pulled back, and her face did that thing. Tight jaw, narrowed eyes, that I've seen right before she tells someone they're about to try the wrong person. "I figured," she said quietly. "Denise been acting funny." Then Marcus showed up in shorts and slides like he just rolled out of bed, saw the setup, and went, "Oh my God," with genuine awe. This is a resort." He looked at me like I'd performed sorcery. "Are we allowed to be here?" I laughed for real then. "Yes," I said. "Behave." More people trickled in. Janelle with her baby. Lacey wearing sunglasses like she was hiding. A couple of second cousins who hugged me and immediately started whispering, "Girl, we didn't get an invite either." By 1:30, there were 15 of us. Not 87, but 15 who actually wanted to be there. And the weirdest thing happened. I started to relax. Because nobody was performing. Nobody was shouting over the music. Nobody was ranking who had the best job. People were just talking, eating, laughing. The kids ran around on the lawn. Aunt Regina's deviled eggs disappeared in 10 minutes flat. Marcus found the mocktail station and declared himself CEO of Pineapple Mint. At one point, I stepped back and watched everyone, and I felt this bittersweet warmth that made my throat ache. This felt like family in the way family is supposed to feel. Safe. Easy. Not like a stage. Then my phone buzzed. A text from my sister. "What are you doing?" "Mom said you're hosting something at your hotel." I stared at it. The words "your hotel" made me laugh bitterly. Like it wasn't my workplace, my life, my effort. Like it was a toy. Before I could reply, another message came through. This time from my brother. "You trying to split the family?" Denise is pissed. I looked up and saw Lacey watching me with that cousin expression that says I know family drama when I see it. "They found out," she said. "Ow," I asked, already knowing. Lacey tilted her phone toward me. My stomach dropped. Someone, Marcus, of course, had posted a story. The welcome sign, the terrace, the buffet, and a selfie with the caption. "If you didn't get invited to the reunion, come to the upgrade, face with tears of joy." It was funny. It was also gasoline. My phone started buzzing like a dying insect again. Calls. Texts. Missed calls. Aunt Denise's name appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. I didn't answer. Not immediately. I stared at the table, at my family laughing, and I felt something calm settle over me. For once, I wasn't scrambling. For once, they were the ones reacting to my choices, not the other way around. I walked over to Maya and said, "If anyone tries to crash this, can we keep it controlled?" Maya's smile was razor sharp. "Honey," she said, "we do celebrity divorces here. Your aunt doesn't scare me." That made me exhale a laugh I didn't realize I'd been holding. I finally answered Denise's call when I was ready, not when she demanded. "What the hell is wrong with you?" Denise exploded before I could say hello. I pulled the phone away from my ear because she was so loud. "You're embarrassing us. You're making it look like we excluded you on purpose." I looked out at the terrace where Marcus was trying to teach a toddler to fist bump. I kept my voice steady. "Did you exclude me on purpose?" I asked. Denise sputtered. It was last minute. Last minute with banners and a DJ, I said. Last minute with an event page and 87 invites. Denise hissed. You're being dramatic. No, I said quietly. I'm being accurate. Denise went silent for half a second, then switched tactics. You could have just come, she snapped. You saw it. You could have driven down. I wasn't invited, I repeated, and it felt ridiculous that I had to keep saying it. And even if I drove down, do you know what that feels like? Showing up like a stray dog, hoping someone tosses a plate my way. Denise made a scoffing sound. Oh my God. I felt my chest tighten again, but this time it wasn't panic. It was anger. Clean, clear anger. I asked you if it was a mistake, I said. You didn't apologize. You said next time for sure like I'm optional. Denise's voice rose. Because you act like you're better than us now, with your fancy city life. I laughed once sharp. My fancy city life is me working weekends and holidays so I can pay rent, I said. And for the record, I didn't host this to be fancy. I hosted it because I was tired of being forgotten. Denise's voice turned cold. You're splitting the family. I looked around at the 15 people laughing on the terrace and said, the family was already split. I just stopped pretending it wasn't. Then I hung up. My hands were shaking afterward, but in that post-adrenaline way, like my body had just run a sprint. When I turned around, Aunt Regina was standing there with her arms crossed, watching me. Denise, she asked. I nodded. Aunt Regina made a sound like a growl. Let her be mad, she said. Eat your food. And that's what we did. We ate. We laughed. We took photos. We sat in the sun. We told stories that didn't revolve around who disappointed who. For 3 hours, I got to be part of a family without begging. At 3:45, my grandma arrived. I didn't even know she knew. She stepped onto the terrace with her cane, dressed in her nice church cardigan like she'd come straight from service, and my heart jumped into my throat. For a second, I panicked. Was she going to scold me? Was she going to be hurt? Was she going to say I should have just gone to the reunion? She looked at the welcome sign, then at me, and her eyes softened in a way that made my chest ache. Baby, she said. I walked to her and took her hands. Her skin felt warm and papery. Grandma, I said, and my voice cracked. She patted my cheek very gently, like she'd done when I was little. They forgot you again, she said, not as a question. I swallowed hard. Yeah, I whispered. Grandma's mouth tightened. She looked over at the tables, at the cousins I'd gathered like a little island. Then she leaned closer and said low, Good. I blinked. Good. I repeated, stunned. Grandma nodded once. You made your own table, she said. You fed people. You brought folks together. She lifted her chin. That's what family is supposed to do. My throat burned. I didn't want it to be like this, I admitted. Grandma squeezed my hands. They've been acting like you're an extra, she said softly. You ain't an extra. You hear me? I nodded because if I tried to speak, I would sob. Grandma sat down and let Janelle's baby grab her finger. And for the rest of the afternoon, she acted like she'd been invited all along, which, honestly, she had. My cousin Marcus brought her a mocktail, and she took one sip and said, Oh, that's sinful, and everyone laughed. Meanwhile, my phone continued to buzz in my bag like a trapped animal. I didn't check it until everyone left and the terrace was quiet again. The tables half cleared, the sun dropping. When I finally looked, there were messages from relatives I hadn't heard from in years. Aunt Carla, this is petty. My sister, Mom is crying. My brother, you made Grandma walk? Grandma drove with her neighbor, but sure. Cousin I barely know. Can I get your employee discount next month? I wish I was joking. There was also one message that made me sit down hard on the edge of a chair. Lacey, they had a new group chat. I just found out. You're not in it. A bunch of us aren't. I stared at that for a long time. Because that was the answer. Not forgetfulness. Not last minute. Not confusion. A deliberate core family. Circle where invites get shared and everyone else finds out afterward. I felt sick, then weirdly calm. Like something finally made sense. That night, I didn't post a dramatic rant. I didn't expose the group chat. I didn't even respond to most of the messages. I took a shower, sat on my couch in clean pajamas, and wrote one text to my sister. I'm not going to fight about this. I wasn't invited. I asked Denise directly, and she brushed it off. I hosted something because I was hurt. If you want a relationship with me, it can't include pretending I'm optional. My sister didn't reply until the next day. When she did, it was, "You didn't have to do all that," which told me everything. Because to them, my pain is always too much, but their exclusion is always no big deal. Here's what happened after, in reality, not in a tidy movie ending. The family didn't suddenly apologize and change. Aunt Denise stayed mad for weeks. She told people I was attention-seeking. My brother stopped replying my messages for a while. My sister posted a vague Facebook status about people who can't handle jokes, which honestly made me laugh, because apparently exclusion is a joke now. But something else happened too. The cousins who came to my terrace started texting more, sending photos, making plans, checking in. Lacey invited me to her kid's birthday party and sent the invite directly with a, "I'm not doing that weird gatekeeping stuff anymore" message. Janelle asked if we could do a monthly brunch. Grandma started calling me more often, and once she said, casually, "I told Denise she needs to stop acting like she run the family," and I almost framed that sentence. And me? I stopped chasing the table that didn't want me. I used to show up late to things because I was waiting to be included. Now I include myself where I'm wanted. I don't do last-minute crumbs anymore. I don't do "next time for sure" as a substitute for basic respect. If there's an event and nobody tells me, I don't beg. I don't plead. I don't show up like a stray dog hoping someone recognizes me. I make plans with the people who actually show up. Maybe that sounds petty. Maybe some people would say I should have taken the high road, swallowed it, driven down anyway, smile for photos under a banner I didn't know existed. But I've swallowed enough. I've smiled enough while feeling invisible. That day at the 5-star resort wasn't about flexing. It wasn't about proving I'm better. It was me finally doing something I should have done years ago, treating myself like I belong somewhere, even if my family doesn't make it easy. And honestly, watching the relatives who didn't invite me lose their minds because I dared to make my own table only confirmed exactly why I needed to.